Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. This is United Daily Live, the place where you get the latest Manchester United news, headlines, transfer rumours and everything else. And today we have got loads to talk about. Dean Henderson has signed a new and long-term contract at Manchester United, and it's clear that he is staying at the club for the next season. Although there were rumours about him potentially going away on loan, it looks like his future's settled at Manchester United and he'll be battling it out for that first team spot, which has of course put the spotlight on Sergio Romero's future at Manchester United as well, because surely we can't be keeping Sergio Romero, Dean Henderson, David De Gea all happy in the same first team squad. It just can't happen. We'll also be discussing what that means for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans with Manchester United's goalkeepers as well, and whether he can even juggle De Gea and Dean Henderson at the same time. So we'll be looking at that. We'll be looking at reports that United are furious with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who was flown off to Dubai, and when he returns at the end of this week will have to go under a 14-day quarantine, which will mean he'll miss the start of the pre-season. Now, because they've not travelled in like a sports bubble or with a sports team or all those kind of things, when you travel with a football team or whatever sports team, you'll get allowed not to have to go under that 14-day quarantine. Because Aaron Wan-Bissaka has travelled over there as just a tourist, he's obviously going to have to undergo that 14-day quarantine, and United are said to be furious with that. Of course, maybe we can do a few tests and get the government go ahead, but United don't want to be in this situation, and it's another defender caught up in a story whilst on holiday for Manchester United, although it's obviously not as bad as Harry Maguire's court case, which today again we've heard more updates on Harry Maguire as well, because his court case is obviously appealing that. He was found guilty, he was sentenced to 21 months, which, because it's his first time and it's a misdemeanor, he's going to be serving that as a fine. But he has appealed that immediately, and that, because he's appealed it, it means he's no longer been convicted. It's obviously been overturned pending appeal. So Manchester United are standing behind their captain as he undergoes this appeal with the Greek court and everything else that entails. Also today we saw reports that Manchester United had a bid rejected from Monaco, by Monaco rather, for Benoit Badiashile. Now the young centre-half's been linked with a move to Manchester United, Bayer Leverkusen, I think Juventus and Real Madrid as well. But Bayer Leverkusen have been one of those teams that have been linked with him for a long time now. Manchester United, according to Mohamed Bouhafsi, have of course made an offer of 25 million euros, 22 million pounds roughly, which has been knocked back by the French club. Apparently they want a Martial-like fee for the centre-half. Surely that's not going to be coming from Manchester United, as you'd expect we'd want to spend a little bit less on a centre-half than around a 40-50 million pound fee, as we did for Anthony Martial. So we obviously see all those reports as well, and we'll be covering everything else there. But as always, we'll start with an on this day, and it is the 26th of August today. And on this day, the Saturday the 26th of August 2006, Ryan Giggs becomes the first player to score in every one of the Premier League's first 14 seasons when he hits the target in a 2-1 victory against Watford at Vicarage Road. Gary Speed, who tragically died in 2011, becomes the only other player to manage the feat, with a goal which gave Bolton Wanderers a 1-0 win against the same opponents the following month. So on this day, Ryan Giggs became the first player to score in every one of the Premier League's first 14 seasons when he hit the target in a 2-1 victory against Watford at Vicarage Road on this day in 2006. And obviously Ryan Giggs having an incredible record in the Premier League, and that goes without saying. But we will obviously be getting stuck into this story about Dean Henderson and finding all the quotes. I can see Ross Murphy, Paul B, Cress Welling, Charlie, David Collins, Potsy, loads of you guys in the comments. So thank you very much for all joining us here on United Daily Live. Remember, we are here live every single night at 10:30 p.m. with the latest Manchester United news. So make sure you're keeping it locked, you're liking, you're commenting, you're sharing, and you are subscribing. I can see MS Army in the house, Tusha, Hornby, Paul, Faz, Dowda. So thank you all very much. Baz is in the house as well. Thank you all for getting involved. So let's get stuck into this story around Dean Henderson. And it's factual, isn't it? He's signed a new deal with Manchester United to stay at the club for the foreseeable future. And it says on the Manchester United website, United are delighted to announce that Dean Henderson has signed a new contract which will keep him at the club until June 2025 with the option to extend for a further year. Henderson, who has been named in the England squad for the upcoming September internationals, is a product of United's academy and has been at the club since the age of 14. The goalkeeper kept 13 clean sheets in the Premier League last season, the joint third highest in the division, and was nominated for the Premier League Young Player of the Season award. Dean Henderson has said, "The pathway that I've been on for the past 5 years has been fantastic for my development, and the invaluable loan period at Sheffield United has been a part of that. The goalkeeping department at United is excellent. There are 3 top-level goalkeepers who have achieved so much in the game, and I look forward to working with the group. The faith that the manager and the club have shown in me with this contract means a lot to me and will continue my progression as a goalkeeper. I'll be giving everything to improve every day so that I can play as many games as possible for this great club. Now I'm looking forward to joining up with the England squad and preparing for the season ahead." He's obviously in the England squad for the next 2 games, which I think are in the Nations League or something like that. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, anyway, "We are delighted that Dean Henderson has signed his new contract. He's had another great season at Sheffield United, where he gained a lot of experience and grew both as a player and a person. He's a fantastic young goalkeeper with the attitude and work rate to keep improving every day. We're in a strong position within the goalkeeping department, and that gives us competition for places that we are looking for in the squad. Dean is another great example of the type of player who's come through the academy and truly understands what it means to be at United. We are all looking forward to working with Dean and continuing to develop his talent." That's a new deal until June 2025 with the option for an extra year on that, and it's £120,000 per week for Dean Henderson. Now, if in those 6 years of his deal, he becomes United's first choice goalkeeper, I know a lot of people are saying that's a lot of money, but Sergio Romero will be on a similar amount of wages, and I believe Sergio Romero will possibly be leaving Manchester United now. And if you look at the way Manchester United are doing business in this transfer window, actually this move makes total sense. You're bringing back in Dean Henderson, who's not going to cost you a transfer fee. You're giving him a contract that's equivalent to probably what you were paying Sergio Romero and Dean Henderson prior to his new deal being signed. And you're going to sell Sergio Romero anyway. So I don't think the wage bill will be getting any bigger. I think he'll almost be replacing Sergio Romero as the goalkeeper. And it's clear that he's now saying, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is saying he's fighting for competition. He's fighting for spot in the team. He's said thank you to Sheffield United and goodbye and all that. So it's clear he's not going to be staying out on loan. He's coming back to Manchester United for a fight for that first team spot. Now it'll be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer juggles Dean Henderson and David De Gea. Will Dean Henderson be the cup goalkeeper? If De Gea makes a mistake, will Dean Henderson be coming straight back in? Will he just be rotating? How is he going to handle that? Because you've got a goalkeeper in David De Gea, who is clearly the first choice goalkeeper for Manchester United. You look at his wages, he's on around 350, 360 grand per week at Manchester United. Dean Henderson's on 120. That's close to half a million a week from Manchester United on their goalkeepers, and that's before you get to Sergio Romero and that. So it's clear. I think it's so obvious Sergio Romero's off from this. Now there's been rumours linking him with a move to Chelsea, Aston Villa, Leeds, Everton. A whole host of different clubs have been linked with a move for Sergio Romero, and I'm sure there'll be no shortage of suitors for his signature. But I think this is a clear sign that he will be leaving Manchester United, in my opinion. And United will maybe be looking to recoup a fee, 10, 15, 20 million pounds even, for Sergio Romero from a Premier League club, to add to our coffers and to go towards that transfer budget. And that's another bit of extra dough. You look at, people will say, why are we selling Diogo Dalot? Well, actually, when you look at Ethan Laird, Luke Shaw, Brandon Williams, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Diogo Dalot's a player that I would keep personally. But again, it makes sense. United selling a player for potentially £20 million who's not going to be getting much first team football at all, and bringing in that fee to spend elsewhere on your players in the squad where you do need them. Chris Smalling's another one that's going to leave, and we've been linked with a move for Benoit Badiashile. Mohamed Bouhafsi has reported today that United have had a £22 million or a €25 million bid rejected for Monaco's Benoit Badiashile, young centre-half coming through there, 18, 19 years old, highly rated, obviously still got a lot to improve on. He kind of fits the profile of a centre-half that I can see United signing, a young centre-half, still with lots to prove, still with lots to work on, not going to be demanding first team football week in, week out, but is there to be able to step in and out of the first team. He kind of ticks all those boxes, but you know, I can't see United looking to go much over £30 million for a centre half. So I can see that being a reasonable first opening bid, and maybe United will go back in with another one if it is true, and if United are after Benoit Badiashile. But that bid was rejected according to Mohamed Bouafs, who is fairly reliable. Now again, you look at Chris Smalling, and I think any move for a centre half swings on the future of Chris Smalling, the future of Phil Jones, maybe Marcus Rojo. I think we'll be looking to sell these players in order to make way for another centre half. All of our transfer budget is going to go on Jadon Sancho if we sign him. We know that for facts. So you've got to look at where else are we going to be bringing in the money to be able to spend on those other positions in our squad. We need a centre half. Smalling, Jones, Rojo. You know, you're looking at those players are the ones that are probably going to be sacrificed in order to make a centre half signing. You're looking at we need a little bit more creativity in the squad. You know, Andres Pereira, Juan Mata. Those are the kind of players, you know, I know Diogo Dalot's not an attacking player, but fullback even, that could be sold and sacrificed in order to bring in some funds to make a signing there. Because you think we got 120, 130 million pounds to spend. If we're spending 108 million on Sancho, most of that is gone. So that's what it looks like is going to happen in that aspect. Obviously, Sergio Romero being sold could bring in a little bit more funds for Manchester United as well. United have changed direction. Forget Sancho. Get 3 or 4 players for the same price as David. I don't think. Thanks for watching, by the way, David. I don't think that happens as well. I don't think you get 3 or 4 players for the same price. £100 million, £108 million. So 3 or 4 players for that price. 25 to £35 million each. Look, we've just had a £22 million bid knockback for a 19-year-old French centre half. So which 3 players are we getting that fill in the right winger spot, the centre half spot, the creative midfield spot? I don't think there's 3 players that all come in within those price ranges. You may get your centre half for around that much, you know, but your attacking midfielder and your winger, you're going to have to splash out. And whilst, you know, I understand that, you know, it's a coronavirus market and all that, Manchester United should be one of these teams that are still in a position strong enough. I still think we will do business in this market and we'll do 2 or 3 signings. I do think we'll be seeing 4, 5, 6 players maybe leaving and going out the other way. But I do think we will still do business. It's just very, very slow, as always with Manchester United. But we saw last summer, you know, we wanted to get Wan-Bissaka, Maguire. You know, we got them in the end. It just dragged on for a long time. And even then, we probably needed a bit more last summer. So thank you for getting involved. Samoan85 in the house. Romero worth around 20 mil, says Ross Murphy. I agree with that as well. 15 to 20 million pounds. MUFC TV says they want to see a good left back like Grimaldo. Don't think we'll be doing any business in this window, says Tushar. I don't think that's the case at all. What's going on, Vincent? He says, what's going on with Marc Jurado to United? Marc Jurado has been pictured in Manchester today. I think that one's been known. That's a done deal for a long time. He said goodbye to Barcelona. There was a lot of talk about Manchester United. Marc Jurado, for you guys that don't know, comes from the Barca B team. I think he's 16, 17-year-old fullback coming in. Highly rated and highly thought of at Barcelona. And he's signing for Manchester United. He was pictured in Manchester today, posting on his socials that he's joining United and everything. And I think once he undergoes his quarantine, he'll be able to train with the team, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he's in town and he's ready. Only signing is Henderson. Again, I know everyone's feeling doom and gloom, but if you really think we're not going to sign anyone, I think that's mad. Yeah, Hornby says the same. I'm still calm because we usually leave it late anyway, so nothing new. I'd understand if United usually did business like Chelsea have done this summer and signed 4 or 5 players before, you know, 3-4 weeks are out. But we know what we're dealing with here. We know the monster United are. And we also know clubs fuck around when it's United as well. Good left back like Alex Towell, says Beverly Moore. Scrappy says Daniel James walked into our team at 15 mil. That was when we didn't have Mason Greenwood playing well, Marcus Rashford fit, Bruno Fernandes in a team. Like there was there was other reasons for that. I think he's obviously a squad player, and we need to improve on. I think the likes of Daniel James being our immediate backup, clearly, but I think there were other reasons for that. I think if we had the same team for the full season, I think we finish a lot closer to City than we did. The Messi news is what's causing the mass doom and gloom. I don't think it is. I think regardless of the Messi news, United fans are just doom and gloom merchants when it comes to transfer windows anyway. I think we just got to relax and wait and see what happens. Daily Blinds tweeted not long ago as well that he's feeling a lot better. Obviously we saw yesterday he collapsed on the pitch with a reported heart issue. Good to see that he's back on his feet again. Hopefully it's not going to be a long-term issue for him, although I believe he did have like I forgot what the device called, ICB or something already in, so it's clearly a thing for him, but fingers crossed he'll make a speedy recovery and be able to be back in the mix with Ajax. Dubsy with the super chat says, suddenly behind Captain Harry, the whole thing smells fishy. And the latest update, and I agree with you by the way, the latest update on Maguire is that the case is now up in the air because it's obviously gone to appeal, so he's not currently a convict. If you know, yesterday he was convicted of those things, attempted bribery, assault, and all these different things that were being thrown at him, and because he's now appealed that, it's immediately overturned that decision on appeal. Manchester United are saying they're behind him and they're standing behind him on the basis of this appeal, and they're waiting to see how it plays out. I do feel, look, Harry Maguire may be guilty of something, we don't know what, but I feel like United are right to be standing behind him at this time, because like has been said in the comments, it does smell a little bit fishy. So this is what the latest is on that. Man United's captain's conviction is nullified, an appeal for retrial is accepted. Josh says, so much respect, class insights on United. Nice one, Josh, thank you for getting involved, mate, and I appreciate your super chat. So we're talking about Harry Maguire in it. It says appeal may not be heard for several months. United to intend to stick with Maguire as club captain. Harry Maguire has filed an appeal against his conviction for assault and attempted bribery following a brawl in Greece. Manchester United have said the appeal nullifies Maguire's conviction, and a full retrial will follow in accordance with Greek law. United captain Maguire had been handed a suspended jail term of 21 months and 10 days. It is understood no date has yet been set for the appeal, and United are aware it could be a number of months before the appeal is heard. An appeal against yesterday's verdict was lodged this morning by Harry's legal team, said United in a statement. In accordance with the Greek judicial process, the filing of an appeal extinguishes the initial court verdict and nullifies the conviction. So his conviction at this point has been nullified. The appeal has been accepted and will lead to a full retrial in a more senior court. This means that Harry has no criminal record and is once again presumed innocent until proven guilty. Accordingly, he is not subject to any international travel restrictions. The centre-back was withdrawn from England's squad for next month's Nations League matches by Gareth Southgate after initially being found guilty of all the charges. They're unlikely to reinstate Maguire's call-up following his appeal, and they said, having spoken to the United and the player, we've made this decision in the best interest of all parties and with consideration of the impact on our preparations for next week. United intend to stick with Maguire as club captain for the upcoming season. Now, obviously, Harry Maguire and his legal representatives are obviously informing Manchester United that there's video evidence there, there's hospital reports there that coincide with their line of events. Now, there's a lot of back and forth that's been going on, and not a lot was really, it was very rushed through the initial trial. So you can understand why it would go to a retrial. You'd understand why it would go on appeal. Now, I believe if there was video evidence to come out, further evidence to come out and support the prosecution's case against Harry Maguire, then United would, I'm sure, be well within their rights to, strip him of the captaincy and do whatever. But as it stands, I believe that they're well within their rights to stand by him as captain, and I would do the same thing as well. I think we just rally around him. I don't think, if you've done wrong, surely you just nip it in the bud now. Accept this, apologise, and push it under the rug. You're not going to keep going with it and just keep making the lie get bigger if you're Harry Maguire. So I'd hope that he's being honest, and the truth comes out in the end and is cleared of it, which I think will happen. It all seems very, very sus, to be totally honest with you. So yeah, there you go. That's the thoughts on Harry Maguire. Obviously, I'm hearing a lot on that in the next couple of weeks and months, I'm sure. So, the Reds are apparently furious with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, as we've heard as well, because he could miss the start of pre-season, which isn't ideal preparation for United. He's gone to Dubai. He'll need to quarantine when he comes back. I'm sure United can do something, can just get him tested a few times and get him back into training, but it's not obviously not ideal preparation for Manchester United, who return to training, I believe, on September the 2nd, which isn't far away. So yeah, and if he's back at the end of the week, it gives him a few days. So not ideal stuff for Wan-Bissaka. And if he misses the start of pre-season, then I'm sure he's going to miss the start of the season, which will give somebody else an opportunity to come in. Maybe Diogo Dalot thinks, that's my chance, take him out of the team. Could be a chance for Ethan Laird. Brandon Williams can play at right back. Timothy Fosu-Mensah has been used there. So there's obviously alternatives, but nevertheless it's not ideal there. Baz with the super chat says, I feel we are still going about in a scattergun transfer approach. We either make obvious random signings, nothing ever planned and executed well. I disagree in terms of the scattergun approach, because I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer kind of got, we've known he's wanted Jadon Sancho, and Jadon Sancho is who we're targeting. He knew he wanted Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He got him. He knew he wanted Harry Maguire. He wanted Bruno Fernandes for a long time. So it doesn't seem to be scattergun like where we're trying to just go after anybody. If it was the case, we would have got Dybala the other summer and those kind of things. So I disagree in that aspect, but I do agree with you in the aspect of nothing's ever executed well. We never seem to just, here's the price, let's go into a good negotiation. We seem to fanny about low ball teams when we know, and we know they're not going to take some of these bids. Now, obviously, you're going to go in low when you start bidding, but some of the bids that we've apparently put in for Jadon Sancho, 60 plus 20 and 70 million and all, it's, they're not going to be accepted, and at least you've got to go in at a decent starting point. So I get you in terms of not being executed well. I totally agree. Thank you for getting involved with the super chat as well. Joseph Zam has done the same, saying our club under this ownership announce Henderson now, announce Pogba in 4 weeks and sign no one. Mark my words. I'm not as pessimistic as that. Obviously, I'm not a massive fan of the Glazers or Ed Woodward or the board, but I'm not as pessimistic as that. I think they will be within, and I think when you look at what's going on with Chelsea in particular, who are just behind us, with Arsenal, I don't really look at their business and think anything. Willian, alright, what to do? If he was so good, Chelsea wouldn't have got rid of him. Gabriel, alright, he might turn out to be a great centre-half, but okay, alright, who cares? Who's the other one? Saliba. I'm not really bothered by their business, but you look at Chelsea and they're the team that are behind us. They've clearly improved their team, and United need to be improving their team, and I believe we will be looking to do that. I think we will have some sort of plan, even if it is taking a while to be executed, as is clear. So yeah, that's what's going down there. Paul Pogba's contract should be signed soon as well, we're hearing, which would be good news. Obviously, Mino Raiola was talking positive about that. Chelsea are behind United in the league. We finished third, they finished fourth. So I don't know what you're talking about, Frank. Just saying. Tess Akinfenwa, how you doing, mate? Hope you're doing well. Release Harry, says Richard. He's already released, by the way, for you guys that don't know. He's not in a Greek jail cell anywhere. So yeah, Henderson should go on loan now, says Deep. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's clear. Obviously flouting him around in the first team kit. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying that he's staying and he's going to be fighting for the first team spot. Dean Henderson isn't going anywhere. I think that's quite clear. Paid 30 million to get Thiago now, says David. I'd love that to happen. Don't think it's going to happen. Surprised more teams aren't in for him. Who'd you rather see leave, Lingard or Pereira? Pereira, Smalling, Rojo, Jones, says Palash. All of them. I think we can do that. None of them played for United this season, so Rojo and Jones probably had a few games, but literally we wouldn't notice if they weren't there. And you can probably recoup about £30 million by selling all three of them. So I would go and do that if I was United. $500,000 we're paying for our goalkeepers a week. Yeah, it's mad. That's why I think Sergio Romero is 100% going to leave Manchester United this summer. It's typical Glazeronomics as well. Although it might be sensible and it might be the thing to do, the sensible thing to do, you can just see like bringing Dean Henderson back from a loan deal, selling Sergio Romero, you bring in £20 million, happy days. Sources insist, this is from the Times, thank you to United Report for sharing it, that Gareth Southgate has not closed the door on Harry Maguire. He may well feel excluding him from the England squad for matches against Iceland and Denmark is sufficient punishment. He could even be recalled, says other stories. But yeah, there you go. He could be back in the England squad very, very soon. Jack Lewis has thoughts on Upamecano. He's a player I've spoken about a few times before, not because I think we'll sign him, but because I think we should sign him. I think he'd be a good player to bring in into that centre-half position. Obviously, he's just signed a new deal at RB Leipzig, so I can't see that move happening to any club this summer with Dale Upamecano. And it's probably best for him to stay where he is and get another year of Bundesliga action under his belt before moving on. I'm sure he'll be linked with a £40-50 million move in 12-24 months at the very least. Benji says Wan-Bissaka didn't even get into the England squad. Do you think he deserved that? I think he deserved to be in the England squad. I think the England squad was a shambles, to be honest with you. No Jack Grealish, no Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I thought it stank. It was great to see Greenwood giving a call up, like David mentions there. But I thought that the England team stank, and Jack Grealish not being in it is a big problem. What else must he do to get into that team? I think Calvin Phillips is a quality player, but you got Calvin Phillips getting in there after a season in the Championship. What is it about Jack Grealish that means he can't get in there? Doesn't make sense. But hopefully that's something that drives Jack Grealish away from Aston Villa and into the arms of Manchester United and to Old Trafford, because I'd love to see him at Manchester United. Thoughts on Badiashile from AKA? I don't know. I've not seen a whole host of his games and of his minutes. From what you see of him, he clearly has good attributes. He's strong, he's quick, he's athletic, he can play out from the back, he's left-footed, so he can play on that left side of the defence. All those kind of things, he ticks those boxes, and he's young, he can improve. But I don't know a whole host about him, so I'm not going to say, yeah, United should be going up to 30-40 million. I don't know. If we get him, happy days, because we've got a player in a position that we need, and hopefully he can come in and do well. I'm a big fan of Axel Tuanzebe as well, and I've still got some hope for him coming good at Manchester United. Eric Bailly, hopefully this is a season where he can stay fit for a full campaign. You got Lindelof, you got Maguire. Get one more in there, get rid of Smalling, Rojo and Jones, and I think we'll be alright. And then you got Tedem Mengi as well. So that'd be 6 centre halves. I think that'd be good enough going forward. So yeah. Let us know what you lot are thinking about all the stories that we have discussed today. Make sure you're getting your comments in those comments below, and you're keeping it locked to AdamMcKola TV. Thank you to everyone who's joined us today, whether you got your comments in, like Aaron Cunningham, Test Akin Fenway, T Lights, Anas, MS Army, Giggs, Nick Morris, Laurent, David, Ross Murphy, Paul B. Thank you very much for getting your comments in. Thank you for getting your super chats in as well. Make sure you're keeping it locked. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll be back with more content for you tomorrow. For now, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of there.